that happened like instantly, dude. Okay, wait. I am. Wait. No, I don't need that. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess it's already there. I gotta get the chat in. Okay, what's this? It's just, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't care about that. This, go to pop out chat. Press this. Gotta get that out in a little bit. Actually, I can go to YouTube Studio and get that real quick. Live. Okay, time to. Okay, stream to. Go to here, change, and get the new PNG. Oh, yeah. Oh, and then I've got to go over here and get this again. Okay, got that. Wait, no. It's the wrong one. Nope. Yo. It's the chat, guys. Okay, I should probably... Can I... that's not gonna be right. Is there a way for me to, like, crop it somehow? Really hope there is. Transform. Center, no. That's not it. Alright. Well, I mean, I guess this is probably what we got. This kind of sucks, not gonna lie, but, like, I mean, we've got nothing better. So... Maybe I can fix the sign into chat thing, because that's kind of stupid. Unless, oh, does it just fix itself like that? Or do I probably need to do it again. Yeah, I need to resource it. Well, I mean, hey, chat is there, so we've got that. And then if I type in chat, like test, it'll show up. Will it show up? Yeah, it will show up. Okay. I cannot see it, though. There's got to be a better way to do this. Yeah, I'm just going to remove that. Okay, whatever. I'll just read chat later. Alright. Here we go. We are again playing Sync. Wow. That's what the title's called. You could have seen this fine. And... What the frick is that? Okay. Oh, that's okay. We're just gonna get right into it again. Yesterday I got all of the first stage of Blitzkrieg done, which means I have done 12 runs. Today I probably want to try to do maybe one or two stages, so that would be nice. I do probably need to do a practice run at the end of this. So let me do this real quick. Nope, don't do that. I really honestly don't know what to say whilst I'm playing this level. Like, maybe... waves gotta be up there. Actually, just all the waves of the level are up there somewhere. Good refresher with the level up thing. That one wave, the one wave towards the end is going to be hard. I should beat Zodiac. I mean, I'm honestly thinking about it at this point, because, like, it just feels, like, really easy. But at the same time, it's also Zodiac. So, like, I mean, come on. I mean, that's gonna take forever if I'm ever gonna beat that. Okay. So there we go. There's our practice run. Now I gotta start from here because this wave is ridiculous. Okay, so you got that. Mostly, it's just this way. It's just this wave, and then the one I'm starting at. Those are like the two hard parts of this run. I swear. I think I'm getting the hang of that first wave. Like, it feels more consistent now that I've done it a few times. I say that and then I immediately proceed to dive in. Oh, gosh dang, I made it past that wave. So not only is it the wave, it's clicking soon after that, after the wave, into that yellow orb. So I've just got to internalize that, I guess. Alright, got it. Who the frick is pinging me? It's just some... Okay. So did the drop, okay? Now we gotta do it plus this. Okay. That wave is definitely more consistent now. I can definitely feel it. I just have to play it a few times. Oh, come on. Wait. And then I do... do I just forget the click pattern? Is that all that's happening? I bet you that's all that's happening because that feels really easy. Maybe I just suck. Like, come on. I did it again. Come on. What am I doing wrong? Done it there. Now, transfer it over to the other one. That was better. Alright. 71 to 100. I feel like that's kind of hard. I'll put that in the thing. Actually, isn't that technically like 11 runs now? So hold on. Yeah, it would be 11 runs. Boom. Alright, there we go. There's one of the runs. Oh gosh. If one of them took that long, I don't know how long the other one's going to take. Never mind, I guess I'm just goated. Okay, that took a lot less time than I thought it was going to. Okay, this well, I'll finally get to learn this transition. Like it's been hard, dude. Like, and the only reason it's hard is because I can't remember things. Like, it has nothing to do with the actual part being hard. It's just I don't remember. Dude, I almost had it. Oh, that would have been so cool. Was like the last thing I could have done to. Doing this like cute plus UFO part is like really satisfying. And then it's way what? Yes. Okay, that's another one. Let's go. Oh, this. Oh, I have to do the. Hold right there. I've got to learn that. Why the frick did my sensitivity go up? Go down. Oh no! What? Ah, that was a sad death. Oh. Okay, got it. Cool. That's another one. Now we gotta do. This is. Oh. The hard part is just this wave plus the transition to this shit. And then the rest of that's not right. Okay. Alright. Quicker than I thought I would get it. I don't actually think I'd feel that confident with it, though. I probably should, like, purposefully spend more time on that. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna spend more time with it Yep, I thought I'd been learning most of it. I can't do that. Okay, it feels better. Whoa, Crimson Planet went. Shut up. You need to stop saying that to me. I don't like Crimson Planet as a level. What's with the Why is this character like? What is that, like Chinese or? I don't even know what to say about that. Why does it have that? Okay, whatever. Now I play the thing. Oh! I always do stupid stuff like that. Gosh dang it. Have I let this sink in? Yeah. I think I have let this sink in yet. Or, yeah, have let this. What does that mean? What does that even mean? Okay. Yeah, of course I would die there. Let's go. I'm very good at video games, I suppose. Alright, that's like all the beans. Why is that the first thing you say? You come in here, you say beans, and honestly, you're probably gonna leave. Guys, this is my first time ever having 2 viewers, and they're both people I know. This is so awesome. I feel so pathetic. Yep, I'm at sea. Okay, yeah. I thought that was gonna happen. I was expecting it. Okay, whatever. Now I have to do the part. Yeah, that's not hard. See? Already did it. Boom. This is easy. Sandwich. Sandwich. When was the last time I had a sandwich, actually? Oh, last time I had a sandwich would have been like probably sometime like sometime back when I was in Utah. That would have been what happened. Yesteryear? No, it was like yester week, probably. All right. All right, that's another one done. Then we got we got this stupid one. Thankfully, I can lock in and be good at wave. Sometimes. So I gotta get from here to this. That should be that hard. What the frick happened there? Why am I so consistent at that wave? This wave should be like so hard. So it's, I feel like the harder part of this part is the UFO because of how like precisely you have to line it up. Yo, another run. Let's go. Watching this peak while playing Reanimate. Of course, you're doing everything whilst playing Reanimate at the same time. It's always something you do. I have this huge like itchy sore on my heel. And I hate it. It's been bugging me for the past like 2 or 3 days. As you can see, this level's hard-ish. Like, I mean, what would this even be, actually? Hold on. Sync. Let me go to Reddle real quick. Sync is 351. It is above Sonic Wave, so that would be... This is a 5th hardest. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that making sense. Although, actually, now that I think about it, it doesn't really feel as hard as Sonic Wave did whenever I was playing it. Died at 20. Oh, is that? Oh, that's the click. I hate you. Yeah, that's the click. As yeah, it is the click. Jesus didn't die on the cross. He died at 20 on Reanimate. Okay, you know what? Now that I think about it... Hold on. Let me go do a practice run. watch the master at work. Alright, let me show you. That click is not hard. Oh wait, no, it's this one. Oh. Okay, to be fair, I did that. Maybe you have something. But, like, I haven't played this. Oh, what the heck is this? YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain speed. What the heck? I think it froze on my end, too. No, never mind, it didn't. What in the world is happening? Can you hear me now? Wait. Okay, are we good now? You almost... I got you there. I remember this one door right here. Impossible. I say it's the good one. To be honest, I forgot how to play most of this level because it was forever ago since I did this. Like, this one was tough to learn. Unless it wasn't, in which case I'm just better. Okay, where was I? We're playing from this, yeah. Why is it that one now? Come on, dude. can't do this anymore. Come on. I was literally doing this like 20 minutes ago. I knew I was gonna die there, dude. Oh my gosh, dude, is this the bit rate of 87? That joke makes no sense in the context of this stream. What am I talking about? I did it again, dude. Ah, yes. Okay. I locked in. Holy peeking it. Okay. Now then, 2 more. Oh, 9/11. That's a funny number. That's actually not a funny number. What am I talking about?
Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to Space shuttle Discovery, Space shuttle Discovery, Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to orbit after a acid. Space shuttle Discovery, Space shuttle Discovery, Space shuttle Discovery, still on its Space shuttle Discovery, Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to orbit after a ascent.
This wave's annoying. And this wave is probably honestly going to always
Discovery, still on its way to orbit after a ascent. Space shuttle Discovery, 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 still on its way. Space shuttle Discovery, Space shuttle Discovery, still on its Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to orbit after a ascent.
Yeah. That one is sad.
Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to orbit after a ascent. Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to orbit after a ascent.
Oh, I died the same place. So I got there from 0 yesterday, and then I died in that exact same way. That's actually sad.
Space shuttle Discovery, still on its Space shuttle Discovery, still on its Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to orbit after a ascent. Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to Space shuttle Discovery, Space shuttle Discovery, still Space shuttle Discovery, Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to Space shuttle Discovery, still Space shuttle Discovery, Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to orbit after a ascent. Space shuttle Discovery, still.
Yeah. This part's annoying. I'll get through it.
Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to Space shuttle Discovery, still on its way to Space shuttle Discovery, still
8 o'clock. Whoa. We almost hit an hour on the stream. Wow.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip. Space Shuttle Discovery Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to 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 Space Shuttle Discovery still on its Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip.
Yeah, okay, dude. What? These deaths are
Discovery still on its way to Space Shuttle 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 Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip.
Gonna hold longer there, dude.
Space Shuttle Discovery Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip.
What the heck is that? Okay, cool.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip.
This wave is no joke. Much like all of the other waves.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip.
The one time I get there in like, I don't even know how long.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip.
Ah! Come on.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to Space Shuttle Discovery Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent. Space Shuttle Discovery Space Shuttle Discovery Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after.
Literally nothing is happening anymore.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to 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 orbit after Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change. Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change.
Up! Come on! This shouldn't be that hard. Why is it this hard? Okay. We can go again, I guess.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change.
Oh! Okay. Okay, one more. One more. It's just from zero. I already did that. I already know this part. And I did. Okay. Okay, let me do it.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent change.
Just have to get there. This is correct. I am not LeBron. I do not play basketball. Basketball. Yeah, it's however you pronounce that. You can type that in chat. Basketball. Yeah. Okay. Ah. This is sad. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, of course you leave. Instantly. All of my friends keep leaving me. This is very sad. Wait. Should I be playing this on, like, the original copy? Because I can just bring that over to, just bring that over here. For this. And then... we link you. And it's just that one. Yeah. And we can play that from 0. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Alrighty. Yeah, everything is going to be a new best. Like that. Honestly, actually, what was that?
Space Shuttle Discovery, still on its way to...
Yeah, I thought that might happen. Only 11 runs. Hey, that's out of date. I haven't fixed that yet. I haven't gotten around to fixing that.
Space Shuttle Discovery, still on its way to orbit after a...
Yeah, okay. Here, okay, you know what? Actually, no, I don't even know how many runs I would have. I'll do it after I get this.
Space Shuttle Discovery, still on its way to... Space Shuttle Discovery, still on its way...
What is that? Like, I mean, getting like dying to this one gap right here makes sense. I've done it several times. That makes no sense. You should mod me so I can keep Cupid at it. Okay, you know what? Just for you. There you go. Congratulations on becoming a standard moderator, I suppose. Now you can keep me out of chat. Kind of sucked. Hey, I will overthrow you. Yeah, I highly doubt that. Roxy, you distracted me. You made me die. You loser. Right. Good night, burrito. Have a sleep tight night. That's not how you say that. You Made me die, Roxy.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip.
I could have had another chance there. I honestly don't even care about what you sent me. Like, that joke's old.
Space Shuttle.
This game.
Space Shuttle Discovery.
Of course I'd die like that. Whatever.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip.
No. Turn around. Every now and then what's the lyrics for that? Total eclipse of the heart lyrics. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never ever coming around. Something like that. Okay. Well, there you go. There's your cubic singing for the day. Now you get your cubic syncing.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip.
What do I even say about this? I mean, like, okay. Like, we got it. We got 29. We fluked past the hard wave. Nobody was even here to see it. Nobody's watching. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm done for today. Oh, I gotta calculate, like, what runs I get. So it's 29. Is it 29 point something? 29.19. Okay, so this is 29 to 40. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have it in 5 runs. Okay. Let's update this. Properties. 5 runs. We now have 29%. And what's the like biggest run that I have on here that I think is like good? I don't know. I'm probably just good with 29 because like I don't have any like big runs from anywhere other. Like I'd probably save that for like 200. So yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. Yeah, that's probably about it for today. I mean, it was more active, but that's mainly because the people I knew were here. So I'd call that successful. All right. That's about it. See you later.